Hey there, and welcome to Echoes of Age. This is the place where we talk real stuff about getting older, in a way that helps you feel stronger, stay sharper, and live better every single day. We're diving into the things no one really talks about when it comes to aging, but should. Let's jump in, Ted.
Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. I know there are 1,000 things you could be doing right now, and yet you chose to spend a few moments with me. That means something, especially because what I'm about to share might just change the way you think about your memory, and more importantly, about what's possible at our age. Now, I'm going to tell you something that might sound a little strange at first. I'm 88 years old, and my memory is sharper now than it was when I was 70. Even sharper, I think, than when I was 60. I don't forget names. I remember phone numbers, grocery lists, conversations, and even tiny details that used to slip through the cracks. And no, I didn't take some expensive supplement, and I haven't been hypnotized or hooked up to some new gadget. What changed everything for me was a tiny habit, just 3 minutes a day. But before I get to that, let me take you back a bit, because it wasn't always like this. There was a time, not too long ago, when I genuinely thought I was losing myself. I would walk into the kitchen and stand there, confused, try to remember what I'd gone in for. I'd open the fridge and forget what I was looking for. I'd lose my train of thought mid-conversation, even with people I loved deeply. And the worst part? I started to believe it was normal, that this was just part of getting older. That memory, like muscle, just fades away with time. You might know the feeling, that quiet fear when you can't remember someone's name, or when you have to reread something 3 times for it to stick. I'd feel frustrated, sometimes even embarrassed. And deep down, I started to wonder if this was the beginning of the end. Then came the moment that truly broke my heart. One afternoon, I was talking to my grandson on the phone. He was excited about a school performance and asked if I could come. I told him I wouldn't miss it for the world. But the day came, and I forgot. Just completely forgot. When his mother called to ask why I didn't show up, I felt like something inside me cracked. I had no excuse, no explanation. I just didn't remember. And when I spoke to him again, he didn't say anything hurtful. But the way he spoke was different. Softer, distant. That silence stung more than if he'd yelled. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed thinking about all the times I had told myself I wouldn't let this happen to me. And yet, here I was, forgetting, drifting, feeling like parts of me were slipping away. But something in me still wanted to fight. I didn't want to believe this was how the story had to go. So I started looking for answers. Not pills, not miracle cures, just something, anything that could help me feel like myself again. And then something unexpected happened. My granddaughter, who's studying psychology, came to visit. She's young and full of life, and she noticed I seemed a little off. I told her, half joking, that I sometimes go into a room and forget why I'm there. She didn't laugh. Instead, she sat down beside me and said, "Grandpa, have you ever tried mindful attention?" I hadn't. I didn't even know what it was. She explained it so simply and with such care that I decided to try it. Every morning, before picking up my phone or turning on the news, I would sit on the edge of the bed, plant my feet on the floor, straighten my back, and breathe. That's it. Just 3 minutes, eyes closed, focusing only on the air going in and out of my body. No chanting, no intense, just breath and silence. At first, I'll admit, I didn't expect much. Some mornings I forgot. Other days, my mind wandered and I thought, this isn't doing anything. But something inside me told me to keep going. Just 3 minutes. That's all it asked of me. And after about a week, I started noticing tiny changes. I remembered where I'd left my glasses. I walked into the kitchen and actually remembered I was there for yogurt, peach yogurt, not strawberry, mind you. And I smiled to myself like a little kid because it felt like I just won the lottery. These moments grew, slowly, steadily. I didn't even realize how much they meant until my wife asked me, "Have you noticed you don't repeat yourself as much anymore?" And she was right. I wasn't second-guessing myself as often. I wasn't losing track of thoughts mid-sentence. I felt more present, more calm, like my mind had stopped racing around and finally sat down for a cup of tea. It wasn't just memory. It was mood. It was sleep. It was the little things, like laughing more at the dinner table, like remembering the name of the woman at the market without having to glance at her name tag. One morning, my grandson told me about an exam he had coming up. A week later, I asked him how it went. He paused and looked at me, a bit surprised, and said, "Grandpa, you remembered?" And I said, "Of course I did." That moment meant everything to me. It felt like I wasn't just remembering facts. I was reconnecting with my life. I was taking back the parts of myself I thought I had lost. And it all started with just 3 quiet minutes a day. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Can something so simple, just breathing, really make such a difference? I asked myself that too. We spend our whole lives doing things the hard way, working long hours, solving problems, caring for everyone else. So when someone tells you, sit still and breathe for 3 minutes, it almost feels silly. But let me tell you something. Those 3 minutes are the most powerful part of my day, because they're not just about breathing. They're about attention, about training your mind to be where your body is. When we get older, it's so easy to drift. We start doing things on autopilot. We forget what we're doing while we're doing it. We lose track, not because we're broken, but because we're distracted. Our minds are scattered, and so they don't record anything clearly. But when you give your full attention to the present moment, something incredible happens. You begin to remember, not because you're forcing it, but because you're finally giving your brain the chance to do what it was made to do. It's like cleaning a fogged-up window. The view outside hasn't changed. You've just cleared the glass so you can see again. That tiny habit was like a reset button for me. Every morning, it was as if someone came into my mind with a broom and swept out the cobwebs. I didn't need any fancy tools or expensive treatments. I didn't even need more than 3 minutes. Just focus, just breath, just stillness. And the changes didn't stop with memory. One morning, my wife asked me to go to the store. Get bread, milk, apples, and coffee, she said. Normally, I would have written that down. Not because I couldn't remember it right then, but because I didn't trust myself to hold on to it. But this time I paused. I took a breath. I repeated the list in my mind once. And I left. When I got home, I had everything in the bag. And I looked at it like it was gold. Not the groceries, but the feeling. The confidence. The sense that my mind was working again, like a well-oiled machine. And then there were the conversations. I stopped nodding along while secretly hoping the other person wouldn't ask me about something we'd said last week. I remember details. I followed stories. I asked questions and listened, really listened. And people noticed. My wife told me, "You're more present now. You're lighter, happier." And it was true. I even started making bad jokes again at dinner. The kind I used to tell years ago. The ones that make people groan but still laugh because they missed hearing them. And something else happened. I started remembering old stories. Memories I thought were gone. Like the first day I met my wife. The smell of the bakery where I worked as a boy. The color of the bike my father gave me when I turned 10. It was like parts of me were returning from far away. Like I had opened a door and found pieces of myself waiting on the other side. Now, I'm not saying this is magic. It didn't happen overnight. It took time, and it took patience. Some days I didn't feel any different at all. But other days I'd notice a shift, a name I recalled, a task I finished, a conversation I followed without drifting. And that's when I realized something. We often think memory fades because we're old. But in many cases, it fades because we've stopped paying attention. We've stopped learning new things. We've stopped challenging our minds. We've accepted the decline as normal, and so we stop fighting for ourselves. But aging doesn't have to be passive. You don't have to sit back and let your mind slow down. You can stay curious. You can stay alert. You can keep discovering new things, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. And the best part? It's never too late. You can start today. You don't need a doctor's appointment. You don't need any special equipment. All you need is 3 minutes and a willingness to try. Sit in a quiet space. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gently, slowly. If your thoughts wander, that's okay. Just bring them back. Feel the breath. Feel your feet on the floor. Let yourself be still. And then, get up and go about your day. That's what I've done every morning for over a year now. And I still forget things sometimes. Sure, I'm human. But I no longer feel like I'm disappearing. I feel sharp, present, alive. And if you're watching this, wondering if this could work for you, I want you to know it can. You're not too far gone. You're not too old. Your mind is still in there, waiting to be awakened, waiting for you to come back. So, tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, give yourself those 3 quiet minutes. Try for a week, then 2. And little by little, you may begin to notice what I did. That you're remembering more, smiling more, reconnecting with life in ways you hadn't even realized you'd lost. And if you do try it, I hope you'll come back here and tell me how it's going. Because I read every comment, and it fills me with joy to know we're not walking this road alone. Until next time, take care of your mind, your breath, and your beautiful life. It's all still yours.